It's another edition of the UTPA Baseball Show. My name's Jonah Goldberg. This is Manny Mantrana.
Hello, Jonah.
How's it going?
Good, thank you very much.
Well, welcome back again from North Dakota now. You're 5/8 of the way through your final road trip of the season. And, it's an interesting place to play at. You took the last game, 1 out of 3 at North Dakota, but the first thing I noticed in watching the games online is that turf field. Now, what I was trying to figure out is the dirt, that's turf too, isn't it?
Yeah, everything, including the mounds.
The mound.
The entire infield is turf, and then the outfield is natural grass. But getting there was an adventure. We couldn't fly into Fargo, so we flew into Minneapolis. Then we had to take a bus from Minneapolis to Grand Forks, North Dakota, which is about a 4.5-hour ride just to get there. So that's probably the toughest trip out of all the trips that we've taken, just for the simple fact that you're not only flying there, but now you have to bus it for 4.5 hours, and the same on the way back. So it was a tough trip as far as getting there, but I thought our guys competed well for 3 games, and we able to come back extra innings the last game and take the win.
Yeah, every game was close. The first 2 games were 2-run games. You had the 1-run game, the win at the end, and your staff ERA was really low for the weekend. Only allowed 8 runs in 3 games, so certainly some good things on the pitching side. Yeah,
and it's starting on Friday. Our freshman Zach Martinez did an excellent job of coming in from the bullpen and holding him down. Only gave up, I believe, a run in like 5 innings. Yeah. Saturday, another freshman started for us, continued to do the same thing. Justin Quinones started. Only gave up 2 runs, but give their pitcher a lot of credit. He was pretty good, and we couldn't do much against him. And then again on Sunday, Blake English showed signs of his old self. Pitched really good, 7 innings. Our bullpen came in, and again, freshman Ryan Jackson, freshman Johnny Gonzalez came in and really did an excellent job of holding him down, Jonah, long enough that we were able to score 1 run in the 10th and win the game 4-3.
You mentioned English. This is 2 outings in a row where we've seen a positive turn. What has changed, if anything, for him?
You know what? I really couldn't tell you that one because he's really worked hard this year. Probably in better shape. Came back in better shape than he was. His velocity after the first couple outings was a little down, and I think there were some mechanical issues in the past that we've tried to iron out. But he came back in good shape. He was competing. Probably the biggest thing, if anything, was he was just leaving the ball up, and you can't do that at this level. Not, unless you're throwing 93 and above, and he doesn't do that. But he did a really good job of keeping the ball down, throwing a lot of strikes with his fastball and secondary pitches, and again showed us some signs of the Blake English that we all know and love.
And the freshmen, you saw 4 out of 5 of them this weekend. Your 5 freshmen have combined for an ERA of about 4.1, 4.2 this season. That includes George Lamb, who's been working his way back from injury and has given up a few runs along the way. So if you were to look at just Martinez, Quinones, Jackson, and Johnny Gonzalez, and you've got some really gaudy numbers from this group of freshmen.
Yeah, those 4 arms are going to be really, really good for us in the coming years. Jonah, we're excited about that. George Lamb is also going to be a good one, but he's, like you said, he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he hasn't really fully become what we think he's capable of doing. But those other 4 freshmen, if you put their numbers together, that's pretty darn good. So we're excited about the freshmen. We're excited about what they're going to be able to do for us in the next 3 years.
Over the last 2 weeks, you've used Jackson in relief a lot recently, and he's been almost completely unscored upon. He's had technically 10 relief outings. One of them was that piggyback start at Grand Canyon. So if you just look at the 9 outings where he was, really a true hard and fast reliever, 8 of them have been scoreless. So is that how you envision his role going the rest of the year, just using him out of the bullpen and shutting down opponents?
Yeah, that's how we envision him coming into the beginning of this year. Unfortunately, through some injuries and some other circumstances, we had to throw him in as a starter. But we had originally planned, even with Quinones, for all of our freshmen to come out of the bullpen. They're strike throwers. They're able, and that's what you want. They're able to come in, throw strikes, make the opponent put the ball in play. Zach is another one that we had to change plans with him mid-year. We were planning on redshirting him, but again, because of the circumstances, he's done a great job every time he's pitched. Same with Johnny Gonzalez. His improvement throughout the year has been tremendous. So those 4 guys are really throwing the ball well, especially for freshmen. It's a big jump from high school to Division I baseball. And they've really thrown the ball well. So we're excited about those 4 coming back for 3 years. And now the grades come out in a couple of weeks. I think they're going to make good grades because obviously a big portion of that, making sure that they're doing their job. But all those guys last semester made above a 3.0, so we expect the same thing from them in the classroom.
How much does it help for these freshmen to be getting such meaningful innings and for Quinones getting all these starts just as a freshman?
It's huge. Getting some experience at the Division I level, and especially in the situations where they've been put in. Obviously, Justin as a starter. The other 3 coming out of the bullpen with tight games where they have to, hold the offense or hold the opponents down so our offense is able to come back and score some runs. They've done a great job. Johnny, Ryan, and Zach, they've come into some pressure situations and they've handled it well. So it's huge that they get that experience.
So we look at that final game, the 4-3. You took the lead in the 2nd, they came back. You took it again in the 7th, they came back. Then you got it for good in the 10th. You like the fight in your team there?
You know what? I thought all 3 games, again, this group really, really competes hard, and they give you everything they have. We were 1 big hit away, and that's kind of been pretty much the story of the season. We were 1 hit away in the first game. We were 1 hit away in the second game. Finally, that 3rd game, it was the same situation, and Corey Davis really came up with a big hit. As far as with the runner at second base, came in, got the base hit for us when we needed in the 10th with 2 outs, and that was a big hit. But we've been, most of the games have been really close, Jonah. We've been 1 hit away from, the games turning around. But Corey Davis came up big for us in that last game, and that's how we were able to pull ahead. And then Johnny Gonzalez did his thing in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, 3 hits for Davis. He's got 5 or 6 of those kind of games this year. You like the progression you've seen from him with the bat? Absolutely.
He's, he was one of the bats we were counting on early, and he really started off the year pretty much frozen. Not cold, it was bad. But to his credit, he's kept working. He hasn't given up, and he's really, really improved. And he's come, he's raised his average close to 100 points in the last probably 15, 20 games. So we're happy to see that. He's a great young man, works hard, great family, and we're happy for him and his family.
Jesus Garcia now riding an 11-game hitting streak. He's hitting about, I think, 400 to 500 in that time, and he's hitting about 400 since the start of WAC play, and he's raised his average from 175 to 307.
Yeah, he's another one. You would like for those kind of guys to start off well because they work so hard and they give everything they have. And Chewy, again, tremendous student, great family, great young man. And since, like you said, started WAC play against Sac State, he's really been a good hitter for us. So that's another one. There's another one that we're happy for, and hopefully he continues to stay that way for the next couple weekends.
So no midweek game this week. So how does that change your preparation going into next week, Dan?
That helps us a lot. We got to campus yesterday being Monday at about 6:30. Today was really light. The pitchers did their throwing. We just hit some BP. Wednesday is always a short day because a lot of our players have class and they have to get out of there at 10. So we'll probably have about an hour and a half just to review some things we might see this weekend. The bunt defenses, first and third. Just some fundamental things to make sure that when they arise during the weekend, we're able to get some outs. But that's about it. We leave Thursday for New Mexico State. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back again Monday. And next week is really crucial for us because all of the guys are in their finals week. So we have study hall on the road, airports, hotels, but we've been more diligent with that now starting last weekend, knowing that the finals are coming. So they don't like it much, but you have to do that to make sure that they stay on track and they're able to make good grades.
Yeah, classes, the last day's Wednesday, and then it's all study time, so a chance to really get ready for those exams. You get back Monday around noonish, and then guys still jump right into those exams. So I'm guessing your schedule or the practice schedule will be thrown all off while you're trying to get around that.
Yeah, that's never been an issue. When they come here, we make them understand that academics is first, and there's ever some conflict between academics and baseball. There is no conflict. Academics is always going to win. But you're right. Being a full-time athlete, especially during the finals week like them now, it's tough because they've basically this entire semester. It's either practice or play or being on, travel. And it takes a toll. It's like being a full-time student having a full-time job, because playing at the Division I level is a full-time job. But we're very proud of them. Last semester, had over 20 guys 3.0s. We have about 8 guys make 4.0s. Our team GPA was a 3.2. So we want the good athlete that's a good student. That's why this group has been a blessing, just to coach them, even though the year has not gone the way we expected. But I've enjoyed this group tremendously. They give you everything they have, and as a head coach, what else can you ask for? So we're looking forward to some good grades, and we're looking forward to us finishing and playing some good baseball this weekend and next weekend at home.
In New Mexico State this weekend, you haven't been there since 2012, and I seem to remember 4 games of arena baseball. Yeah,
that was high-scoring games, and they've made some improvements to the stadium. When we went a while back, the stadium was okay, but with slight improvements, I thought it could have been a lot better. So they've invested some money in that program in the stadium. So we're looking forward to going and seeing the improvements they made and playing good baseball this weekend.
Is altitude a factor? Do you have to plan around that in terms of how you call your pitches? Can you not call the breaking ball up there?
Well, obviously, it's the ball travels faster, so it is an issue as far as you're aligning the defenses. You have to take that into consideration. But you call the same game. The only thing is now a hanging breaking ball that they would hit here at Pan Am, maybe to the warning track. You hang that breaking ball and they hit it, that's going over the fence just because of the altitude. So there are some changes. Pitchers need to be a little bit more careful, making sure that they keep their pitches down, especially the off-speed stuff. And defensively, there's some changes too, because the ball does travel a little bit further. So those 2 areas are probably going to be where we concentrate our efforts more than anything else.
Well, Broncs are at New Mexico State Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Friday and Saturday game, 7 o'clock Central Time. And the Sunday game is at 1 p.m. Central Time. You can catch all the action live with me through UTPABronx.com. And then we'll be back with you next week to talk about the Utah Valley Series. Until then, this is Bronx Baseball.